Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs that I follow. I'll give you my financial opinions as we go along. If you need any help, check out finding-value.com. That's where we go over individual companies and talk about individual sectors and whatnot. So we do have a discount on it. Discount is the coupon code if you're interested. Let's dive in. Let's see what's going on with the markets today. We've got the DXY, the dollar index, rolling higher along with yields. It does look like we are kind of breaking out of a little downtrend that we were in and starting to advance forward. So it looks pretty strong for the DXY to continue higher. When we look at the 2-year yields on the 2-year are up 0.22% in this channel that we continue to move higher in. We've got the 10-year yield that really shot to the upside today, 2.34% on the 10-year. We had a bearish engulfing a couple of days ago where we got some pressure to the downside where this could have fallen here. But again, in the short term, things can go in opposite directions. And here we go. We've got a nice strong candlestick to the upside, and we'll see if this uptrend, the upside momentum continues. The 30-year yield also showing a lot of strength, up 2.6% roughly, and that momentum continues to carry us forward. Very strong on the 10-year and 30-year moves today. Very strong. The TYX-TNX ratio, this is the 30-year versus the 10-year. Generally, when this is at a low level, gold generally does very well. This is when you want to start looking into gold. And this is, as this comes back up, historically, the past 40 years, gold is outperformed. But we also saw that gold in the 1970s outperformed during inflation and a rising interest rate environment, which may break apart from this relationship that I've noticed over the past 40 years. So gold could break away from this. It did move positive for gold today, slightly higher. And this does look like we could continue higher in this ratio where the yield curve could uninvert to some extent. Bond prices down, obviously with yields up, bond prices are down. This is a bullish engulfing a couple of days ago, which generally works its way higher. But there is a lot of downside momentum that we are trying to work off. Which one is going to win? Difficult to say. Gold up 4.4 bucks. It's still holding strong. I still think this looks great to move higher. We're sitting on top of all of these support levels on multiple time frames. We've got a big bullish engulfing candlestick if we close the month strong. So that looks good. And on the shorter term, we've got the green army showing up, which generally you get these sideways actions and you kind of stair step on top of them. So it looks pretty strong in terms of different time frames and where the support levels are at and resistance levels. We only have really this resistance level going across horizontally, which there's a couple of resistance levels above us. Silver down a little bit, but it's holding on, not much selling pressure. It's not just ripping to the downside. I think it's waiting for gold to take off and give it the green light. Give it the green light to go. And if you back out a little bit, this is where we're at. We've got strong resistance on top of us at about 24.30, 24.50. We need to break above that area to get moving. Platinum looking pretty strong. It's squeezing up into the corner here. I think it looks excellent. We had a very good day today, up 2.35%. Nice big candlestick. Closed pretty strong. Platinum's looking pretty good. Palladium also higher, not as strong as platinum, up 0.4%. We do have a bullish engulfing here, which is engulfing the candlestick before, and that generally indicates that we could see a move higher. XAU to gold ratio, it is falling back. It underperformed gold itself. The gold and silver mining companies are struggling against gold, and we do see that in a pullback today of about 2%. CRB index finding support at support, and it does look like we could try to either move sideways or higher off this support level. Oil being up today. CRB to S&P 500 seeing a strong outperformance, 1.9%, and I do think that commodities will continue to outperform the S&P 500. Looks very good. So GDX down on the daily today, right up against resistance. GDXJ down a little bit more and SILJ down about 2%. It looks like the gold and silver mining companies just can't get any traction. Maybe that's because crude oil is outperforming gold, and we are really measuring the margins of GDX, the gold and silver mining companies. Crude oil up 1.8%, bouncing off support. We did tap the 82 level. I had a pretty good guess yesterday that maybe we could tap this today. And surprisingly, it bounced off that support level quite dramatically. Here we are coming down. We tapped it and then boom, launched it from that support level. There's the tap at 82.10. 82.10 is where we got. I said about 82 something bucks. And that's what we did. We tapped into the 82 bucks and then launched it a little bit higher. So crude oil could mount sideways to higher here to see if this thing can get moving for crude oil. TTF gas up 3.2%. It's in consolidation mode. It's sitting above support. I do think this is going to break to the upside. It looks pretty good. So sideways to higher is what I'm expecting in TTF gas. Natural gas coming up back above its support resistance line. We hit our resistance here. We popped up above it, did a retest, and now we are free to hopefully go to a land much higher away to the upside. XOP, yeah, you know me, down a little bit today, down 0.16%. We're again against that neckline. Oil bounced off support, came back higher. The equities didn't follow as quickly, and we'll see if oil gets a bit underneath it today, or I should say tomorrow. If oil continues on up, that momentum, hopefully we can get XOP and OIH to move on with it. It does have a little bit of a kind of a shoulder head shoulder-esque looking thing going on right now. OIH also down a little bit, but we do have a wick. We had a reversal in oil. Let's see if this starts to reverse if oil continues higher. We do have selling pressure here. Bearish engulfing. Those generally want to head lower, and we've been moving sideways in OIH. Longer term, bigger picture view, I still think this looks good. We're in an upward channel that we just haven't broken out of yet. And we are far below any of the old highs that we've seen in history. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, just absolute strength here, up 2.75%. Breaking, obviously, of this consolidation pennant formation. And I think we've got more room to go to the upside. The momentum's there. It looks really strong. URA up 0.7%. A little bit of selling pressure, a little bit of a wick at the top of that. And we'll see where we go. Uranium also getting that little wick at the top. It does look like we want to try to turn lower, but again, we'll see what the physical pricing does. And we've broken this to the upside of that pattern. URNJ also getting a little bit of a down movement today. So again, we've broken out of the pattern. The momentum's to the upside. Let's see if that momentum can continue. TAN's down 3.66%, and it's got some work cut out for it. I don't think it likes the higher interest rates, guys. It doesn't like the higher interest rates. COPX also falling today, 1.4%. We need to reclaim this resistance support level. This could go down to 30, which is the next major support level that we've got. Lithium down. Again, those interest rates, it's not going to like these interest rates, guys, going up 2+% in a day. REMX also does not like it. If you're not cash flow rich and you're borrowing money, you're not going to like these high growth type environments. Renewables, I would consider more high growth. Stuff's out in the future, and projects are much harder to finance with a lot higher interest rates. S&P 500's down 1.43%. Pretty big down day, and it finished quite strong. This still, to me, looks like we could head lower. If interest rates continue higher, I think the S&P could definitely continue lower, along with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ also selling through support and closing quite strong. We could see further downside in the NASDAQ, unfortunately. We've got the regional banks. The regional banks looks like we're trying to put in some support, trying to turn this thing around, but we are coming down to a low side of support. So we've got a little bit of support underneath us, more towards 35-ish than 38.50 where we're at. But did you guys see home sales? Home sales it surged higher. New home sales did, surprisingly. Emerging markets down 1.32%. And again, I do think emerging markets will do well. We need the dollar to calm down on going up. But as yields rocket higher and the dollar remains resilient and moves on up, it's going to be a headwind for emerging markets in the short term. XHB heading a little bit lower, even though we had those home sales. It's following interest rates in the overall market, and this does have a lot of momentum behind it. We could see further downside in XHB. MOO also moving a little bit lower. We do have support underneath us, a little bit below us, more towards the $68, $69 level. It does look like we're heading there. Copper's down. Copper's down a little over 1%. Is this going to head lower? That is a bearish piercing pattern here. That's where it ended. So with the overall markets going lower and interest rates going up and people perhaps getting a little bit scared, copper could sell off here. Let's continue to watch it. And to me, it looks like the overall markets could drag this lower. Iron ore, surprisingly, quite resilient. We do have kind of a trend line that it's playing with that could break out here at any second. So it actually looks quite good. We could put that in there just to see what happens with the price. Nickel flat, but again, nickel's been just working its way lower. I probably wouldn't get in front of that train. We've got aluminum up 0.33%. Aluminum does look like it's trying to put some sort of bottom in here. It's right at support, and let's see if that support holds and we can gather itself and move on up. Baltic Dry Index down a little bit. Looks like it's getting a little bit of relief. Maybe the overall markets are starting to weigh on it. We're also right at a very strong resistance level that we've seen over since 1988. It's been a strong resistance level. So this is going to gravitate towards that resistance level, and maybe we get a breakout and then a retest back to that level before heading higher. Newcastle coal down a little bit. Again, I like it where it's at. Nat gas is broken to the upside. I think coal's just going to follow what nat gas does, and this thing is gathering itself right where it's at. We've got Bitcoin up 2.38%, ripping to the upside, looking quite good. And then we've got Ethereum also up a little bit. There is some selling pressure. That's what these wicks are at the top here. So again, we'll see how much it forges through this resistance. We do have some wicks over here, which generally means a little bit of selling pressure is alongside that. So that's what I've got for today, guys. That's what I'm seeing in the markets. Oil, maybe we can get a bounce here. Copper's looking pretty weak. I think yields are definitely weighing on the market and causing some downward pressure, some headwinds to the overall markets. Could the overall markets drag us down across the board? It's possible. This is where things like volatility kick up, and we could see Certain sectors get hit pretty hard certain days. Sometimes everything sells off depending on the strength of the sell-off. So get ready, guys. It could get kind of nasty here. I'll just say that, depending on how fast the overall markets start to sell out. All right, guys, that's what I've got for today. Give me a thumb up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time. This is Finding Value.